The 1999 P Connecticut Quarter is part of the United States Mint's 50 State Quarters program. Each quarter in this series represents one of the 50 states in the United States, celebrating its unique history. The 1999 P Connecticut Quarter honors the state of Connecticut and its rich history. Design of the 1999 P Connecticut Quarter. The obverse, heads, side of the 1999 P Connecticut Quarter features the familiar portrait of George Washington, the first President of the United States. The reverse, tails, side of the 1999 P Connecticut Quarter was designed by T. James Farrell and engraved by Shirl J. Winter. Minting information and coin specifications. The P mint mark indicates that this quarter was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. The minting process involves striking blank metal discs, known as planchets, with specially prepared dies to create the final coin. The 1999 P Connecticut Quarter has a composition of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. Rarity and value. In general, circulated 50 state quarters are readily available and can be found in everyday pocket change. The value of a circulated 1999 P Connecticut Quarter is primarily based on its condition. Coins in pristine, uncirculated condition may hold a slightly higher value to collectors. While the 1999 P Connecticut Quarter is not considered rare, it is a popular piece among collectors participating in the 50 State Quarters program. Some collectors focus on obtaining a specimen from each state in the series, while others may seek out specific mint marks or variations. Collecting and numismatic considerations. Collectors often use a grading scale to assess the condition of coins. The scale ranges from poor to perfect uncirculated. Factors such as wear, scratches, and other imperfections determine a coin's grade. Conclusion. The 1999 P Connecticut Quarter is a small but significant piece of numismatic history. Through its design, it pays tribute to Connecticut's role in American history and highlights the legendary Charter Oak incident. Whether you are a seasoned collector or someone who just enjoys the history behind coins.
The obverse of the 1999 Connecticut State Quarter shows the standard Washington Quarter design with a few alterations. The Washington Quarter, that ran from 1932–1998, had the date on the obverse, as well as the word, Liberty. This design was changed slightly with the introduction of the state quarters, and later the territory quarters and national park quarters. The new design still shows Washington looking left, however the obverse text now reads, United States of America, Liberty, in God We Trust, $quarter. The reverse of this coin depicts a large oak tree whose branches fill almost the entire coin. The white oak shown on the coin was the famous hiding place of the Connecticut Charter. Locals were hiding the charter from British authorities in 1687. According to stories, the charter hid in a hollow part of the tree as the British were trying to confiscate the charter. The tree stood up until 1856, when it fell over in a storm. As the story goes in its entirety, on October 31, 1687, a representative from Great Britain was sent by King James II to challenge the Charter of Connecticut. The representative demanded that the resident of Connecticut surrender the charter. This drama unfolded while representatives of each party, the British representative and the ruling class of Connecticut, sat across the table from each other. In the middle of the heated discussions, the lights went out in the building, and when lighting was restored, the charter had been taken off of the table by Captain Joseph Wadsworth. He went to the nearest white oak tree and concealed the charter in its trunk until 1856 when the tree fell. The tree was measured 1 year before it fell and it measured 28 feet across at the base, 70 feet tall, and each branch was nearly 40 feet in length. This tree became even more famous when Charles Brownell painted an image of the tree that was later used on the 1935 Connecticut Tercentenary commemorative $50. Several people have come forward to protest the way that the tree was shown. The quarter shows the tree as a large, neatly pruned dome full of life. However, according to accounts, the tree was gnarly and not all that attractive. The coin design was decided on by a competition hosted by Governor John G. Rowland. Rowland set up the Connecticut Coin Design Competition. Entries from this competition numbered in the 100s, and 19 of the designs featured the charter oak. This was the fifth coin released in the statehood quarters program. The reverse text of the coin reads, Connecticut 1788 the Charter Oak 1999 e pluribus unum. All of the statehood quarters were clad, meaning that they were 75 to 80% copper, and the rest was composed of nickel. The core of the coins were solid copper. These coins, however, were produced in silver for special silver-proof sets. The coins minted in included Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Georgia, and Connecticut. Errors on the 1999 Connecticut State Quarter. There are currently no known errors of this coin. If you ever run across anything that looks unusual with the Connecticut State Quarter, please contact one of our experts to have the error verified, or send the coin to a professional grading company for their opinion. However, the average circulation state quarter is only worth the face value of 25 cents. These coins can be spent, saved, or taken to the bank. Varieties on the 1999 Connecticut State Quarter. This coin, designed by John Flanagan and James Farrell, was produced in a silver variety as part of proof sets. There were a total of 804,565 silver coins produced for this series. They are composed of 90% silver and 10% copper. The average price of the single silver coin ranges from $5 to $10, depending on the grade. The easy indicator to determine if your coin is silver is by the mint mark. The silver quarters will have an S mint mark rather than a P or D. In addition to the silver quarters, Late Night TV began selling gold-plated state quarters in an attempt to con viewers into thinking that the coin would be worth a lot more. Unfortunately, the amount of gold that it takes to plate a quarter is very insignificant, and these gold-plated quarters have no value in the collector community.
The 2001 New York quarter is easily one of the most popular of all the 50 state quarters, which were issued from 1999 through 2008. All the state quarters are still widely collected to this day, but the New York quarter has a fanbase all its own, perhaps most notably because of an eerie coincidence that led it to become a somber reminder of one of the nation's most tragic days. The timing of the New York quarter being scheduled for release in 2001 was based on mere math. After all, the 50 state quarters were released in the order that each state was admitted to the Union, and with 5 quarters being struck each year, beginning in 1999, the quarter for the 11th state would come out in 2001. The 11th quarter in the series, as many would surmise by this point, was the one honoring New York. When the New York quarter was released on January 2, 2001, the usual fanfare followed. U.S. Treasurer Mary Ellen Withrow and New York Governor George E. Pataki were on hand for a ceremony in the state capital of Albany. The reverse of the New York quarter, anchored by the usual obverse portrait of George Washington, shows an outline of New York State with lines indicating the Hudson River and Erie Canal, a foreground device of the Statue of Liberty, and the inscription, Gateway to Freedom. U.S. Mint Director J. W. Johnson remarked, "I am pleased that the 50 state quarters program has allowed us to capture and honor this important symbol in our nation's history. This design celebrates New York's historic importance for those courageous people who came to America seeking the opportunities of a free society, much tragically changed for the state of New York over the course of the months that followed." The attacks on the World Trade Center on September 11, 2001, were part of a larger coordinated strike that also saw an attack at the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., and the deaths of dozens.
The 2006 North Dakota quarter doesn't typically carry a significant premium in circulated condition. However, coins with errors or in uncirculated condition might fetch higher prices among collectors. Errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, or other minting mistakes can increase their value. It's always a good idea to have rare coins authenticated and graded by a professional service to maximize their potential worth. The coin you're describing is the North Dakota State Quarter, released as part of the 50 State Quarters program. It features a design showcasing the Badlands with bison, reflecting the state's natural beauty and heritage. President Bill Clinton signed the legislation for this program, and during his tenure, 3 U.S. Mint directors served, including David J. Released on August 28, 2006, this is the 39th coin released in the 50 State Quarters program and the 4th released in 2006. North Dakota, admitted in the Union on November 2, 1889, themed the coin, Badlands with bison. It highlights a pair of grazing American bison in the foreground, a sunset view of the rugged buttes and canyons that symbolize the state's Badlands region. President William J. Clinton was president when this legislation was signed. 3 United States Mint directors served under President Clinton's tenure: David J. The 2006 North Dakota quarter doesn't typically carry a significant premium in circulated condition. However, coins with errors or in uncirculated condition might fetch higher prices among collectors. Errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, or other minting mistakes can increase their value. It's always a good idea to have rare coins authenticated and graded by a professional service to maximize their potential worth. The coin you're describing is the North Dakota State Quarter, released as part of the 50 State Quarters program. It features a design showcasing the Badlands with bison, reflecting the state's natural beauty and heritage. President Bill Clinton signed the legislation for this program, and during his tenure, 3 U.S. Mint directors served, including David J. Released on August 28, 2006, this is the 39th coin released in the 50 State Quarters program and the 4th released in 2006. North Dakota, admitted in the Union on November 2, 1889, themed the coin, Badlands with Bison. It highlights a pair of